Hello, hello, hello. The train has passed. Sorry for the late start there, guys. All right. Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. It is the episode for September 22nd, 2020. I'm going to start trying to put the dates in here because we're going to experiment with some shit for the next couple weeks. I am your host, Daniecae. With me, as always, the wonderful, the beautiful Mr. GreenElite. How are you doing, Mr. GreenElite?
I'm doing fantastic. Did you say 2020?
Yeah.
It's almost over. I'm super excited. It's only going to get worse from here. Let's go.
Yeah.
How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing fantastic. With us, most of the time, almost always,
about as much as I can.
the powerful, the beautiful Mr. RevSven. How are you doing, Rev?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. And our special guest this week, the real Dink. How you doing, Dink?
Doing great. How's it going?
Oh, fantastic. I am ready to get into it. But before we do, Dink, why don't you go on ahead and tell the folks what you do and where people can find it?
You can find me at Twitch, _real Dink. I do a lot of World of Warships. We've got a very active clan on there. Play a lot of that. I don't get to stream as often as I used to, but I'm hoping once the weather starts to break and get a little worse for the winter, I'll start streaming more. I like to jump on and embarrass myself with Mr. Green, playing some Warzone, and probably get into a few more later on this year. So we'll see how the year goes.
Oh, stop it. You do just fine.
No, I don't know about all that.
You
Clutch some good kills, bro.
Ooh, and also you can find me at my Facebook page. Just search the _real Dink. Pretty much got that. I do have a Twitter, but I'm not very active on it. So first two are best.
Excellent. And you did pick up Insurgency Sandstorm, too.
I did. We need to get it together one night and start doing that. I played a few rounds by myself, but I was like, man, this is a little different. I played some AI, but we'll definitely want to get into that.
I would love to play some Discount Battlefield with you.
Dude, I love Battlefield. I played the crap out of some Battlefield.
Don't hit me, Danny. I love you.
Oh, don't worry. I'll just mute you in our chat here. Of course, before the show starts, I just really want to say we appreciate you guys for joining us live and for finding us on the podcast platform of your choice in YouTube. We hope that you guys get all the information and entertainment you expect out of us this week. If you guys miss any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. We do have a question of the week this week, which is, what is your favorite gaming snack? What is your favorite gaming snack? You guys can go on ahead and tell us in the Twitch chat right now, or you can comment in the comment section of the YouTube video, and of course, reach out to us on Twitter. Our individual Twitter handles are in right on the screen. Other than that, guys, I think we're ready to start talking about some video games. Vidya games. Green, you and I are going to start with a game called Unfortunate Spacemen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Among Us with Guns.
Among Us with Guns. Or Deceit in Space.
Deceit in Space.
In space. So, Unfortunate Spacemen is a first-person social deduction game in a similar vein to, as the aforementioned Deceit or Among Us. It is by New Blood Interactive and Jeff Zag-Keen. It is currently free. It is currently free on Steam, but it does have a full-price edition at $20, which I saw has been on sale for as low as $7.50. The minimum specs for the game are a 64-bit processor and OS, Windows 7 or newer, 2.4 gigahertz dual-core processor or higher, an NVIDIA GeForce 470 GTX or equivalent, 11 gigs of RAM on your hard drive, and broadband internet connection. So nothing too super demanding. At least I don't think so.
It has like a potato mode in the settings. Like you literally can click potato mode.
Yeah. I saw that. I saw it yesterday and I clicked it, and it just makes everything fucking flat. It's so funny. So the basics of the game is that you play as a crew of spacemen working for a snarky, unfeeling corporation known as the Company, trying to complete your job and escape from the site before getting killed by a bloodthirsty monster who's disguised as one of you. Around the map are objectives like research samples that you need to get blasted into orbit, comm links that need to be put online, and you have to clear debris from a landing zone so you can escape. There's a few others around, like if the lights go out, you have to turn on a generator and stuff like that. There are also map hazards that you can use to murder each other. Maps have two kinds of zones in them, one where you have oxygen available and one where you don't, and if you run out of oxygen, you start to take damage. Maps also have weapons that spawn around in different locations, and they have power weapons that everyone gets indicators for on the map and become more available as the game progresses, but there's only like one of them, right? So like, there's only one railgun or one shotgun or one LMG around the map. Is there anything I'm missing for like the basic gameplay?
Not that I can think of. Yeah, just going around and doing the tasks and stuff.
Yeah. I will say the in-game comms are supposed to be proximity based. We'll get into the in-game comms here in a second. But for like the game, it's supposed to be unlike Deceit, where everyone can hear you in Deceit if you talk in the Innocence chat. This is the basic comms are proximity, so it's only people within a certain range that can hear you. The game overall... Oh, I should talk about the monster. So the monster has a couple different abilities. They actually have kind of like a built-in timer where they have to transform every so often. Otherwise, they transform against their will. They can also burrow into certain locations, and they can drop like these facehugger mines that when a player walks over it, they will have a facehugger just latch onto their face. And
that seems to be like literally stripped from Aliens.
Yeah. Straight up. And then it also has like these really powerful claws that can just like fuck you up. Let's see. You can have up to 16 players in a game, and there are some other game modes rather than just the social deduction game. I didn't have a chance to try them out at all. We just focus on the social deduction game. But there can be a lot of variety in your games when compared to Deceit or Among Us. So I guess right now, Green, is there anything that you want to add to any of that?
Not that I can really think of. I mean, yeah, core gameplay you got out of the way.
Yeah. I figured we'd kind of talk about some of the jankiness we had.
Oh yeah,
because there is some jank. There's
very
some
much so
jank going on with this game.
A lot of fucking jank.
Yeah, so the first bit of jank that we ran into was the situation surrounding comms in game. There were 4 of us.
Yes,
4. Well, 4 or 5 of us.
Daniecae showed up. Yeah,
Later.
The total at the end of the night was 5.
Yeah. So in our private match, we could not get the comms to work. We all had comms on, and I could only hear Green.
I couldn't hear you.
But you couldn't hear me. So there's some weirdness with that where, like, you know, if we wanted to play it like the devs intended, we couldn't. We couldn't figure that out at all. Everyone had, at least everyone said that they had their volumes up and their key bindings set, and they were using their key bindings. It actually did. I did see the indicator for me that it turned on. So we had to rely on Discord, which did not help the immersion of the game at all. We had to institute a rule that just said, if you die, you can't talk. Similar to Among Us.
Yeah.
There were some issues with physics, I felt, or at least the physics felt a little weird. Mostly like just ragdolling. Like if you get hit by the monster, you ragdoll pretty like uncontrollably. I don't know if that's by design, but at least if it is by design, like the ragdolling itself could just be a little bit more. It could just be better. And then actually our last match of the night, I was playing Monster and locked Daniecae into a door. Like he got stuck in a door, and I was able to gank him from the door.
Yeah.
Like he was like literally like he was a Bethesda character stuck in a door.
He was literally wedged between the closed door, and he was stuck in the door.
Yeah.
And like 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
So at one point I didn't kill one of our players with us, Quan, put something in this. We have to like do a send a sample off into space, and he put it in there, and I was carrying one to the same thing. Well, he was suspicious of me, so he went into the launch thing with the specimen and got shot into outer space with it. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's a bug, but
that
it was hilarious.
That is something that they actually say you can push players into the orbital launchers. Yeah. That's something for the monsters to do. Like it actually is a prompt, like you can push them in. But if you stand inside it like an idiot or somehow get pushed into it by another player, I don't think that I think that was by design. That is a part of the design of the game. So you have to be a little careful with it. There is in-game tutorials. It's not like Among Us where they expect you to read like instructions, and then just have to figure it out from there. There are like some in-game tutorials, so you can kind of get a feel for the game beforehand. I didn't find them. Yeah, I didn't find those to be super helpful though, because like you load into a map and then all of a sudden you're expected to just run like everyone else, right? You know, go off and do things, or it doesn't fully prepare you for the social interactions that you're gonna get in the tutorial, which I guess, you know, is just a part of the fun of playing. We played it for what, 3.5 hours, just about?
Yeah, I would say it was about 3 hours ish.
Yeah. Though by the end there, we started getting really good at understanding the game, I think.
Yeah.
Some of the jankiness aside, again, the situation with the comms I thought was really weird. I don't know if that's just a private room thing or what.
The biggest issue was the key binding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you couldn't... So in the game lobby, you couldn't adjust your key bindings, but you could in the game and in the main menu, which I thought was weird. One thing I will say, so Among Us has this issue where, right, you get like a 4-digit code, and you have to use those 4 digits to get into a lobby. And sometimes you have to do it like 6-7 times, especially on peak nights. We didn't experience any of that. We were able to form a lobby, set our own password, and everyone got in, no problems, which was awesome. Good job. Because yeah, Among Us is a pain in the ass to do.
That was something they kind of changed recently in Among Us, because we played it in a big group over the weekend. They made the codes, I think 6 or 7 characters long now, and that has really helped solve a lot of that. It's easier to, you know, you still kind of have to do it a few times. Like if you've got everybody joining at the same time, it might take a time or two, but the codes are longer, and you don't get random people popping in anymore, which is nice, because people were putting in like random letters and popping into our games every once in a while. It was like, what is going on?
Yeah, that was definitely like that was a problem. And to Among Us's, you know, defense, yeah, they weren't expecting to get huge overnight. Is a weird time bomb effect that Among Us had.
Thanks, Dr. Lupo.
No,
No, seriously, the game is so fucking fun.
Yeah.
Lupo says one thing, and the devs are over there sweating like Jordan Peele in that GIF where he's just like this, like, oh shit, what do we do now? You know?
Overall, I thought it was a good experience. I don't think that I actively disliked any part of the game. I was confused for the first little bit, like that first hour and a half I played. I think, especially in like the public games, I think I said I am so fucking confused multiple times. Like
It was definitely a fun game. It's just like jumping right into it without the tutorials, especially, was crazy.
yeah. You can, like I said, you can have up to 16 players, but we were having great fun with just 5. It'll be one that I think we'll invite more people to try out, maybe in a larger group. But overall, I think it's definitely worth a try. If you can run it, definitely worth a try. It's free. I'm not sure if I would suggest the full retail version of the game. I mean, if you really like it, maybe. But maybe just like if you want to support the devs, throw a couple bucks their way via like microtransactions. But
yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. I don't think it's worth the $20 full retail price, but like the free to play, it's worth giving a shot.
Yeah, and that is to say that I also haven't tried. There's like a survival mode and like a story mode too. That I haven't tried yet. So I'll have to get my hands on those, and I'll come back, or maybe I'll do a separate YouTube video on it. But yeah, that's Unfortunate Spacemen. Any thoughts, questions, opinions you guys wanted to get out there? We'll start with you, Dink. Any thoughts, questions?
It's something I would try. I don't know. Look pretty neat in the in the trailer you played in a little bit from your gameplay and stuff. But yeah. Being early on, how long ago was this released?
June 12th.
Yeah, so it's still pretty early on. It'd be pretty fun to see if they upgrade it and fix a lot of the bugs and stuff.
Yeah. I also
another bug.
Go ahead.
And another bug that we had was everyone got launched off the map randomly within 30 seconds of the game starting.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone just launched like through walls and shit, just off the map.
And I wonder. GG. Yeah, I wonder if that happened because, like, the monster died. I have a theory that maybe that happened because whoever was playing monster accidentally fell off the map, and it just caused everyone else to fall off the map. Like, that was its way of ending the game. I'm not 100% sure on that. Just a theory. A game theory. Sorry.
The music was really good too.
Music is good.
Yeah, like at the end of the game, it'll play some metal, like a little metal guitar riff. When it does like your progress, like your report, and I thought that was banging.
Yeah, so New Blood Interactive. We actually talked about these guys. Do you remember back in June when we did the first Summer of Gaming event?
Yes,
with like like that whole weekend that they had like the PC Gamer Show and the Guerrilla Collective, and New Blood was included in that in one of those showcases, and we talked about some of their games, and I believe we even mentioned Unfortunate Spacemen. It was actually the fact that I remembered that we talked about them that I even went and looked this up. So yeah, it's worth trying out. Rev, any thoughts, opinions, questions?
I mean, not at the moment. It's something I'll definitely download and give it a shot. Just to play around with, because I'm always down to at least try a free game. If nothing else, I'll download it and then have stuff to do and not be able to play it. I'll just have it downloaded. But
taking space up on your hard drive.
Yep, I have way too many games that do that already. Why not add another? But now, I would be willing to give it a try. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun. I honestly think like games like that, for some reason, like the bugs and stuff like that, I love it. Cracks me up. It's like, I mean, it does. Seriously, it makes for great content too. So I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be worth giving a shot.
Excellent.
That's about it. I'm over the. I've told most, like you guys, I've been over the Among Us train since before it got popular, because a good friend of mine, an Angry Dwarf King, had purchased it for me, and we were playing it a lot. And God, it got so old. It's one of those games that if you're not careful, it'll get old quick if you play it too much, and it did. And I haven't played it since. So, but I love deception based games. I like Town of Salem, and I haven't tried Deceit yet, but that one seems a lot of fun. So, I mean, it seems like it seems like Deceit meets Among Us, honestly, because it's like a deceit in space. So yeah, I'd be willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, because
Deceit's a lot of fun.
Deceit is a lot of fun. That is one.
I keep getting Mr. Winkles keeps trying to get me to play it, and I think I have it, but it's one of those games that I downloaded and I just never get around to playing it.
You got to watch out when you're playing with Danny, though. Danny, statistically speaking,
is always the monster.
He is 90% of the time he is infected. I don't know why.
Look,
don't know how.
I remember you talking about that.
Look, I'm gonna pull a quote here from the great Mark Twain. There are 3 kinds of lies: lies, damn lies, and statistics. Your statistics mean jack shit when going into a regular game. It doesn't matter what happened 90% of the other time. That one game, I am not infected, and you can suck a dick.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and quote the amazing Eleanor Roosevelt and say, America is all about speed, hot, nasty, badass speed. Don't know how it's relevant. She said it.
I don't know. We're just quoting things now.
I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
Like, we played 12 games one night of Deceit, full games, and I did the math. Like, I had a spreadsheet and everything because I was going to prove this shit, and it literally came out to 90%.
That's pretty sus.
Yeah, it's very sus. How many times I was infected that day? 1 time. You can trust me. I'm never infected. I'm never the imposter.
Never the alien. Okay. We should probably move on here to the game that Revs played, Gone Viral.
Yeah, I actually got to test this out today, so it's still pretty fresh on my mind. So Gone Viral is an upcoming, I'll have to check the release date. I'm pretty sure it's Thursday, but it's an upcoming roguelike with kind of that isometric, not necessarily top down, but like the isometric kind of like off to the side view where the camera doesn't move or whatever. But it's also kind of like a twin stick shooter kind of game. And you're essentially this guy that's running around in a prison game show, and you've got a crowd watching you, rooting for you, or they can actually be upset with you based on some of the decisions you make if you're not causing enough carnage. And actually come to find out that if you upset them enough, then it'll turn on this modifier where all you have to do is get hit once and you die. And you're like, son of a bitch. But it's also got Twitch integration in it, which is a lot of fun. And it's like a real like rapid fire Twitch integration. Oh, perfect timing, man! It's been like forever. You ain't come by, damn. But yeah, it's got really good like fast Twitch integration. Like once you hit like so many fans in the game, whatever votes in place gets locked in, and that becomes your modifier. And they automatically start the vote on the next one, and then there are just random events that could pop up. But one of the fun things that I had to happen today, and from what he was telling me, they're going to do this when people stream it, as long as they're given permission to do so. But the devs can actually mess with the game while you're playing it. Like if they're in your Twitch chat, they can actually mess with you. And I come to find out how they did it. They did it by whispering me on Twitch, because for some reason, like I when I ended my stream, there was this wall of whispers I had from the dev that was hanging out in there, and it all had kind of like what looked like coding almost. And he was like throwing random obstacles at me the whole time. And so it was like really trolly, but a lot of fun. It made for a great time. But the Twitch integration, and it's really good because it's one of those that can like help or hurt you along the way and stuff. But it was a ton of fun. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it is this Thursday that it comes out. I haven't seen a price tag on it yet, as is the case with most games, that come out. You can get the demo right now, but yeah, it does come out Thursday. I would say as long as it's like somewhere under maybe like the $20 range, super worth it. So much fun. It's especially if you like roguelikes. But there's a comedy element to it. You got different bosses you have to fight as you go through, and it all around is a super enjoyable experience.
Yeah, so I actually just pulled up the Steam page for system requirements for anyone curious. It is Windows 7 or newer 64-bit operating systems, x64 dual-core CPU, 2+ gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM. You need a discrete non-mobile GPU with 1 GPU RAM. I'm sorry, not 1 GPU, 1 gigabyte of RAM. And 2 gigs of available hard drive space. So it seems pretty lightweight.
Yeah, as are most of the games I cover, with me being like the indie guy. It's really lightweight. There was one thing that I came across, but the dev was in there at the time that he saw it. And so I didn't even really have to report it. But there's one trap you get, or one fan event you get. It's a magnet event where like just a bunch of random giant magnets drop down into the arena. And if you're in the middle of an actual, like one of the like the big boss fight type deals where there's a whole bunch of minions around, it kind of like bogged it down a little bit to where it got a little laggy. So they're gonna go ahead and go in and reconfigure that and make sure it doesn't do that. So that may end up tweaking the system requirements by the time it's all said and done. But aside from that, I didn't have any issues. No loading issues, no lagging issues. Audio, visual, everything was good. I mean, it's not like this super pristine, pretty game. It is what it is. But it was a lot of fun, and it ran really well, which is good. I mean, awesome. The last thing you want with a game coming out is for it not to be running good. Mm-hmm. Crucible. I'll say it. I'll put you on the spot, Amazon. I had faith in that game, and y'all, you let me down. You let me down.
Yeah, I think it's poor performance is what gave it a big ol' no from me. So with a game that has streamer integration, mm-hmm. I'm always kind of worried about how playable it is for someone who doesn't want to stream or isn't a streamer. Is it a game that someone who doesn't stream want to play? Is it going to have like the replayability? Is it going to have the challenge to it that a streamer would get, or lack of challenge that a streamer would get? What is your thought on that?
I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because 100% it does. There is a setting in there when you go into the settings and check your voting. There's the Twitch integration page. You can actually turn it to where the in-game audience picks all those things for you. So it'll be kind of like the similar thing, just be completely randomized instead of at somebody else's control. So your quote unquote in-game audience, the people that are in the stands watching, will be the ones voting on all that exact same stuff instead of the Twitch audience. So it still has that exact same feel of the random, like, can it hurt me or help me, without the audience. So if it's something you don't even want to stream, it's going to be the same. I will say the one cool thing about the Twitch integration, this is actually something that really stood out to me. I thought was really cool, is like when you're fighting the bots and stuff like that in the game, if somebody says something in your Twitch chat, it pops up as one of the characters in the game as a thought bubble of them saying it. Or if there are nobody's in the arena, one of the people in the crowd will be saying what somebody in your chat said. It'll have their name above it. So I was actually able to sit there pretty much the whole stream and not have to look up at my chat because it was actually on my game the whole time. It was pretty cool. I thought that was a really neat feature. That
is a nice little like attention to detail little addition there. Green, do you have any thoughts on Gone Viral? Any questions?
It looks super fun. I'd try it.
It is. I recommend it. If you can get your hands on it for inexpensive, I would say do it, because it's very replayable. And the thing is, like, as you gain the fans, that's kind of like your EXP is like the fans you gain. Like if you die on a run, all of those fans go to your progress bar, and it's like an overall progress bar. So you do your next run, it just stacks on more after that. And as you level up, you do get upgrades to help you progress further in the game on your next few runs and stuff like that. So you do build, after death towards being able to progress further in the game. So it's a true roguelike like that.
Awesome. Dink, any thoughts, questions, opinions on Gone Viral?
It's not really anything that I'd normally play, the top-down stuff, but it does look like it's interesting, and I like all the Twitch stuff that they've integrated with it. I think that's really cool. It looks like they put a lot of time into it to make it, so interactive.
Yeah, and with that too, I did end up having like one issue where I had to just go in and I didn't have to do a lot. I just had to reconfirm the Twitch account connection to it. Like I just went into my settings and hit connect, and it reconnected because it did disconnect. But that was something. One thing that really impressed me was that the dev was actually actively working on that stuff while watching me play it. So it was like if he saw any issues, he wanted to get to work to fixing it. And I thought that was kind of cool because, like, technically it launches Thursday, but it's launching in early access Thursday. It's not the actual full launch, so you can still get the game and get started on it, but it is technically still early access. So there will be some bugs and stuff like that. But I think to me personally, it speaks volumes that the devs are in there in these streams watching to see what they can personally see going wrong and say, okay, what can I do right now to fix this? That was really cool.
Yeah, that is really awesome to see them get that hands-on with it. Was there anything else that we wanted to mention for Gone Viral at all?
No, not on my end. It looks solid.
Yeah, I would say, like, considering it's pre-early access, it's in a really good place. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how it does upon release. I think it could be a really fun one for streamers to play a lot. I like when a game institutes Twitch interaction and it's quick. It's not something you have to wait like a 30-minute cooldown for chat to be able to do something else. It's like it's quick and rapid fire. I think that's pretty cool.
Awesome. If there's nothing else on Gone Viral, let's take a quick 2-minute break and come back to talk about Tencent and Bethesda and the Nintendo Mini Direct and the PS5 Showcase. Guys, we'll be right back in 2 minutes. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the show. I wanted to take a quick moment and say thank you for watching and listening. Last month was not business as usual for us. The derecho and family emergencies got in the way of us putting out a show each week, and we're sorry we couldn't get you guys the news and reviews we were looking for. But we're back now and better than ever. If you like what we do and want to help us keep going, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, drop us a review on your favorite podcast platform, follow us on Twitch, and retweeting us when the show is live. These are all easy and free ways to help the show grow. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, and welcome back. We are we're ready to get into some heavier news, and not like super heavy, but it's got a little bit of weight. So some of the news that we're going to talk about starting right away is Tencent is being investigated by Sifu for their investments in the gaming market in the West. So a while ago, we were talking about Tencent and ByteDance and their services being banned by the Trump administration from doing business in the United States. Of course, ByteDance owns TikTok, that's the one that gets all the headlines. And then Tencent owns WeChat, which is banned currently in the United States. As of last weekend, TikTok has been saved by Oracle, right? I think that's the case.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So Tencent, their service WeChat has been banned. But Tencent has a lot of holdings in Western gaming and tech. A few of the gaming companies that they either own or have business in is Riot, who has League of Legends and Valorant. They actually own 100% of Riot Games. They have a minority stake, about 40% in Epic, which of course has the Unreal Engine. Epic also owns probably one of the biggest games in the fucking world right now, being Fortnite. Of course, the Epic Game Store. They have minority stakes in Activision Blizzard. So, of course, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch. What are some other Activision Blizzard games that I'm not thinking of right off the top of my head? Hearthstone,
Those are all the ones
StarCraft.
Yeah, I was gonna say, those are all the ones I know.
They also have stakes in Roblox, Discord, Reddit, and Snapchat. They also manage PUBG Mobile, which we talked about, about 2 weeks ago with Biggs, because India took very similar steps to what the US is doing right now, and the PUBG team had to pivot and come up with some workaround to deal with the fact that Tencent has been banned from doing business in India. So when the news broke a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, about the executive order, there was a lot of panic and fear in gaming that this executive order would apply to gaming companies, as the aforementioned ones were. And at the time, the answer was no, they weren't really looking into Tencent's gaming, gaming affiliations here in the West. But now it seems that the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, CFIUS, no, I said Sifu, it's CFIUS, SFIUS is the alphabet soup there, has begun investigating Tencent's dealings with tech, gaming, and social companies here in the United States. They sent a letter to Riot, Epic, and others in the space on how they handle user data in the United States. Basically trying to poke and prod and see where there might be potential national security issues. That's the Trump administration's justification for this investigation, is national security. There hasn't been much else really in terms of progress or news from this, as the investigation into these companies have just started. It is entirely possible, though, that if they are not happy with how user data is handled by these companies in relation to their partner in Tencent, the administration could come around and sign an executive order which would effectively force Tencent to divest from these companies, something that would be horribly catastrophic for the industry. Like I said, though, it is important to remember that it hasn't happened yet. So just kind of on its base, with the start of this investigation, what do you guys think? Dink, we'll start with you. Do you have any thoughts, opinions, feelings?
Man, it's just, they're trying to pry into more things, and they're trying to stick their hands into stuff, and, they might have some, good intentions, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all that. It's just digging into more and government stretching out a little further than they should, I think, but.
Yeah, I think kind of our overall feelings have been that the U.S. government really shouldn't be telling citizens how to spend their money or what business interactions they should have. I think it's been an argument that we've been having quite frequently lately, it seems. Green, what do you think?
Yeah, if they have like actual reasonable doubt of this stuff, I would like that they show us some sort of proof first. Like, hey, this is what we think is going on. Not just, we're investigating, and that's it. And we're gonna sign executive orders to ban this in the US. Like, I want some sort of actual like proof. You know what I mean? Like, don't say that like TikTok's bad just because it's owned by a Chinese company. Like,
because
same
it ruined your rally.
Yeah. So like, and also this company sounds like a venereal disease, but that's all I got.
Yeah, which I'll actually kind of get to a second here, but I want to get Padre's take on it first.
I think, long story short, this is all just another big, just like the same thing as it was with TikTok. This was my belief, because I even told my wife, I was like, TikTok's not going to go anywhere. I was like, this is all just something to kind of try to distract people from all the actual real problems going on. And I think it's going to be the exact same concept. I think it's absolutely silly. I think that in the end, nothing's going to change. It's gonna all end up right back where it was. I don't think there's any basis behind what they're doing, because like Green said, where's the proof? I mean, show me something that tells. I'm not one of those people that's going to take your word for it, because I mean, you're shutting down a social media site and and gaming sites and stuff because you're scared the Chinese government's going to steal vital information or steal people's stuff and everything. But Facebook actively meddled in the last election, but that one's fine because you won. No, I don't buy it. But I'll leave it at that, because I'm not going to turn this into a political thing.
So
I could go for days about being pissed off about this.
Yeah. So let me actually kind of point to something here that we haven't quite mentioned, and you guys have said, where's the proof? Tencent has been the target of this allegation for several years. Since we've started the show back in the summer of 2018, I've mentioned it a couple times where Tencent has been, allegations have been leveled against Tencent for user data theft.
Yeah, and when Tencent actually bought out Phoenix Labs, we had Aoden on the stream.
Yeah.
Remember him? He actually used to be a Dauntless speedrunner. And he mentioned something about that too. When Tencent bought them out, he was like, I don't like this, because they're going to end up running a game I love into the ground just on reputation alone.
Yeah.
And I get that. I do. I understand. But to go out of your way to do a full blown executive order and all that, that's just wasted time and effort whenever there are bigger things to worry about on that level.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put it past Tencent to actually be getting our data. Like, don't get me wrong. But like, show me like how it would be a national security issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, what are they going to do? Fix my credit?
I watch. Like, what are they going to do knowing that information?
Yeah, they're going to fix my credit. Like,
good.
What else? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of the games that Tencent has their hands in that people have accused of like having like user data issues, which I found no evidence of. At the very least, nobody can find evidence for it, was Ring of Elysium. That was a big one where people were looking at the anti-cheat, which was a basic anti-cheat, not much more different than easy anti-cheat that runs on, name a game.
Apex.
Apex, yeah, thank you. I think it also was on Rainbow Six Siege. So something very similar to that, but it was like Tencent's own anti-cheat. So Ring of Elysium was getting hounded for that. It took them about 2 months. Vanguard and Valorant. Now, Vanguard and Valorant had a lot of issues. The Vanguard system was like just very pervasive in terms of anti-cheat. PUBG Mobile had this issue, and COD Mobile also had this allegation leveled against it, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, because it is an investigation, that CFIUS is going to find anything, really. The track record so far for finding any real user data breaches in regard to Tencent hasn't been very high, if at all. But I also don't think that that's going to stop them if they want to write an executive order just on the basis of, we don't want a Chinese company investing however much and having these majority stakes in these massive corporations. Again, I think that a forced divestment from Tencent would be catastrophic for the US, for the US games industry, and by extension, streamers and YouTubers, retail workers, programmers, artists. I think it would be ultimately catastrophic. So I hope that they don't just come up with some reason to do that, because I don't think they're going to come up with user data breaches or anything like that, or misuse of user data in regards to Tencent, because No one's found it before. It's been a couple times. They've mentioned it 2-3 times, or in the last 2 or 3 years, they've mentioned it. People have mentioned it several times. It's been on the front page of Polygon and Kotaku multiple times. Anything else on this, on the Tencent gaming investigation?
No, sir.
Nah, it's like I said, I could go on for hours discussing why politics have their hands in this, but I'm not going to. Not today.
Yeah. Dink, anything
Maybe
for you?
after dark.
In our After Dark episode.
Yeah, right. No, I'm with Sven. I mean, they're always reaching further than they need to, and I agree. Doesn't need to go any further.
Yeah. Awesome. We can go into, I don't know why I have this here. Where'd it go? Well, shoot, I forgot to put it in the topics. But Bethesda being bought by Microsoft. This is big news.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I think one way or another it will be.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of exactly how is it big news is what we're waiting to find out.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest part of the news is mostly just how for industry wide, it's just how much money this deal was.
Big dick money.
Big dick money.
Huge.
$7.5 billion.
Just so everyone's aware, Disney bought the Star Wars franchise as a whole, Lucasfilm as a whole, which includes Indiana Jones, for $4 billion.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
It's
that makes me think there are big plans in the work. Like they've got to have something planned for that kind of money.
Yeah. Well, and it's actually, I think it is the biggest purchase in gaming history. I think the next biggest purchase was, again, by Microsoft when they bought Minecraft. By like 3 times, I think is what I saw the number being. So, of course, this is Zenimax Media. They are the parent company of Bethesda, id Software, Zenimax Online, Arcane Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Studios. They're going to be now under the massive wings of Microsoft. It also includes all of the IP, such as Wolfenstein, Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and a bunch of others. Excuse me. My dinner started to fight back. So for industry-wide, I mean, that's huge news. And that's going to bring a lot of speculation by a lot of people who, are curious about the development. But I wanted to bring this to the customers, right? Because who the fuck cares who owns it, right? At the end of the day, if you're a customer, you don't care who the parent company is unless you're invested in the space. So what does this mean for you guys? So many of the popular franchises will be added to the Xbox Game Pass subscription service, including Elder Scrolls, Quake, Starfield, which has not been released yet, Fallout, and Doom. So that's big news. So if you are a Game Pass subscriber, you're going to get a lot of IP delivered to you. If you're a PlayStation user and you're planning on buying the PS5 specifically for Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, Bethesda has stated that despite this acquisition, they plan on honoring their timed exclusives with Sony for those 2 games. So if those 2 games were system sellers for you and you just got your PS5 pre-order, don't worry, you can still play those games on PS5. I think the biggest thing right now is just kind of waiting to see how this is going to develop, because the ink is going to dry on this deal in 2021, and their commitments fulfilled with Sony. Most of the games from these studios will be, I think after that all happens, that most of the games we'll expect out of this family of developers is going to be Microsoft exclusives to Xbox and Windows. Did I miss anything in there? Anything major?
I don't think they will.
I'm kind of with Green on that. You hit all the basic key points there, but I think Microsoft, because let's forget Xbox. Just Microsoft has a lot to gain leaving all those properties out there for PlayStation buyers to get. Like, I think they're pulling away from the console wars game And so if they're going to get into developing these things, they're not going to outsell the PlayStation 5. They're not going to. And so why bother restricting these services to the Xbox when people are going to have the PS5 anyways? And then you can see it in the way they carry in the shelves on Twitter, because people are like responding to the Xbox and they're saying, and people are like, I love Xbox. I've had it since the first system, but all my friends are getting PS5s and a lot of games aren't crossplay. And Xbox is responding to these people like, time with your friends is way more valuable than a system. And I'm like, and seeing stuff like that, it's kind of reaffirming my belief that they're going to use this deal just to make a shitload of money off the games, no matter what you buy it on.
Yeah, that's my fact. Like I think they're buying it just to get a few more properties under their belt. And then on top of that, they announced it the day before the pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was just like a big flex move to get more interest in the pre-orders, because people are going to fear that all those games are going to go on Xbox exclusive. Yeah. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they really just want to get that revenue from those extra game titles.
Exactly. And as somebody who's actually played a few Xbox Game Studios games, I don't see this as a bad thing. Like sometimes when you think of a certain company acquiring the properties of it, like for instance, when Disney bought out Marvel and 20th Century Fox, everybody, first thing they thought, what's going to happen to Deadpool? They were like scared something was going to happen to Deadpool. I don't see any issues coming out for like the future games under these properties, because I think they're going to actually end up doing really well. Xbox seems to have their ducks in a row when it comes to actually producing games.
Unlike Bethesda,
left to
their own devices.
Exactly. I think actually this could be huge for the Fallout franchise as a whole, is them getting bought out. I think it could end up actually like reinvigorating the franchise across all platforms, because I'm with Green. I don't think they're going to make they may make a few exclusives. You may see like an exclusive spin-off title or something for a few things. But I don't think they're going to keep the big titles exclusive to Xbox and PC. I think they're going to let them go all consoles, because they have so much more to gain doing that. They've already got the interest in the pre-sales. We don't know what's going to be exclusive or not, and the pre-orders are already in place.
Yeah.
We'll need to have a little bit more faith in our Lord and Savior Todd Howard. Okay?
It just works.
It just works.
Dink, what do you how are you feeling on this deal here?
I don't know. I think they're still going to do some exclusives, just because, anybody that wants it is going to jump on it, and I don't ever see Xbox. I don't know if I see them ever stop making the Xbox systems and continue to make them, because there are so many people that can't jump into the PC world, as far as that goes. I mean, yeah, they're, releasing them on for PlayStation and stuff too, but, I don't think they'll ever totally get out of the console realm,
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying they're going to stop producing consoles. I'm saying they're pulling out of the console war. Kind of like
right.
how Nintendo, when GameCube first came out, it was actually technically when 64 came out, it was like 64 and PlayStation, then Xbox came out, and it was like GameCube, right. PS2, Nintendo, and then somewhere along the way, Nintendo went their own route,
right?
Kind of with some of the stuff they're doing. So I think it's going to be more along the lines of that. They're still going to produce consoles, and they're still going to produce high-end, decent end consoles. But if they're able to produce that Xbox Series S and sell it for the price they're selling that at, I don't think necessarily competing with PlayStation is on their priorities list anymore.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I still think there's a lot of money to be grabbed in certain areas. Even just doing exclusives on any of them. You get the right game, and I think there's a lot to be gained.
I'm excited to see what kind of possible mobiles we're going to get, because now that Game Pass has mobile, we could get some really cool licensed mobiles for those franchises. Some cool stuff, like remember when Fallout Shelter came out? Yeah, like it was kind of a fun time killer little game. We could get some more little time killer fun mobile games like that too through the Game Pass mobile app.
Could you imagine, because all the stuff, if it's going to go to Game Pass, also means it's going to be through the xCloud system. Could you imagine playing the next Skyrim, the next Elder Scrolls game on your phone through xCloud?
Man, that walking simulator would be fantastic.
All right, suck a dick.
Or imagine playing the next Doom on on your phone.
Right.
Just blood, like so much blood and gore that your phone actually stains red from it.
Right. In terms of the console war discussion, and Xbox obviously knows that the content is king. It's not the console, it's not the hardware. Content is what's going to get people to go where they want to go. I think for the most part, my personal opinion is that they have a feeling they've probably already lost Asia, right? It's the biggest, it's one of next to the United States and in Western Europe, it's one of the biggest gaming markets there is. I have a feeling they've already just kind of accepted that they've lost Asia. And so what they want to do is just create or get that content that they can sell to the Asian market and not have to deal with it as an exclusive. Not to have to deal with it as an Xbox exclusive, because they're not going to sell the consoles as well as the PlayStations will in Asia. So I think I think that's part of it. I think it's part of like an Asian
international
strategy.
thing.
Yeah, an international strategy. Because they just haven't done well over in at least in Japan for sure. I don't know how well they've done in Korea, but as I understand it, most gamers in Korea play either mobile or PC. Partially because PlayStations are very difficult to get in Korea because of old World War II tariffs and export bans and stuff like that. It's been a while since I've looked into the Asian markets in gaming, but I think that's I think it's a part of their international strategy for sure.
I'm looking at region wide in Asia right now, and you look at just like the units sold. There have only been 1.8 million just Xbox units sold. That was reported back in 2005, but it was still low, for the time, considering the Xbox came out in 2002. But you look like the PlayStation 2, you're looking at 25 million, PlayStation 21 million. All the PlayStations outsell Xbox by boatloads.
Yeah, they get
trounced. Even in the
trounced.
Middle East. Yeah, it's Xbox has zero holding in the Asian market, from what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, so I think it's a part of their Asian strategy for sure. Anything else on ZeniMax being bought by Microsoft that you guys wanted to add?
No, sir.
No.
Nope.
All right. Excuse me. We have the Nintendo Mini Direct. Did you guys watch this at all? It was about 10-ish minutes.
I didn't watch this one.
I had it in the background at work, but I honestly don't remember much of it.
Yeah, it was pretty unmemorable. I had to look it up again. I had to go to the webpage for the September Nintendo Mini Direct. Dink, did you see it at all?
Unfortunately, I did not have a chance. I've been wrapped up in a few things the last couple of days, so yeah. I did not get a chance.
Not a problem. Well, I have some the announcements here. Again, it was mostly just trailers that they showed. So Monster Hunter is getting 2 new games coming to the Switch. Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2. Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's the Monster Hunter series. I know it has its own diehard fan base. I'm not a part of it. I'm not a part of that fan base really, so the next one on the list was Fitness Boxing. It was a Fitness Boxing sequel. So Fitness Boxing uses the Joy-Cons. It is a rhythm game where you have to jab with your left, jab with your right to the beat of the song. It also features custom trainers and custom workouts and stuff. It looks like a Wii Fit game, except not shovelware. I'm gonna butcher the name of this next one. It's called Disgaea. Disgaea.
Did it a whole lot better than I would say it. Disquega.
Disquega. It's
Discagua.
Disgaea. It's an RPG. They say it's an over the top battle RPG with all sorts of super crazy attacks and quadrillion points of damage and all sorts of other wacky shit.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. Not even Flex Seal can fix that. Next is Sniper Elite 4, which is coming to the Switch. Okay, just real quick. I don't know if you guys are looking at the show notes, but I say coming to the Switch. What else would it be coming to? Why,
Oh my god!
why did I need to add that in our show notes saying that Sniper Elite 4 is coming to the Switch? Yeah, it's the Nintendo Mini Direct, Danny. What else
It's
would
going to the Wii, bro. The Wii's not dead. The Wii is alive and well in my heart.
Yeah, alive and well in the fucking nursing homes that bought them all up.
Next week comes out Skyrim for the Nintendo GameCube.
Yeah, so which I guess as like an extra little bit of Nintendo news, they are discontinuing the 3DS. They have ended manufacturing the 3DS. Someone can go play taps.
F's.
Yeah.
F's in chat.
So yeah, Sniper Elite 4 is coming. Empire of Sin. They showed off Empire of Sin. It was like a cinematic trailer. It wasn't a gameplay trailer. I'm pretty sure we've seen Empire of Sin gameplay trailers at some of the other Summer of Gaming events. And then Rune Factory 5. I didn't even bother to look at it. It just looked boring. Balan Wonderworld looks like a 3D puzzle platformer, kind of in the vein of something like Spyro or Crash Bandicoot, maybe. And then Ori and the Will of the Wisps Definitive Edition.
Yeah, that's like the third time in like 2 weeks that you've messed up definitive.
Well, we had to talk about that the Definitive Edition of Darksiders
exactly.
2 so many times that it just messed up the way we all pronounce definitive.
Right? Just straight fucked it. So that was the Nintendo Mini Direct. Again, Mini Direct, it was like 10 minutes. You know, it was what it was. It's just their partner showcase. Wasn't much else to talk about, really. Did you guys have any thoughts on any of those? Anything that if you, Rev, I know you have a Switch, any of those feel like they would be something free to grab?
Nothing really tickled my fancy right out the gate. Maybe as time goes on, something will kind of pique my interest on it. But as it stands, I'm just like, meh. You know, like a lot of times the games that I want to play on Switch are games I already have on PC. I just want to take them with me, like Undertale and Cuphead and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know. I don't really look for new games on the Switch very often. Although we did pick up Mario 3D All Stars, so that was kind of a cool new release on the Nintendo.
Yeah.
But,
so, Ned picked that up. Our friend Ned on Air picked that up, and yesterday he was trying to buy the pins that like you can get with that game. I guess it's like if you buy that game, you can buy these pins. Mm-hmm. And he sat for like 2.5 hours trying to make his purchase at work. He's like, he was in his studio. For those who don't know, I work at a radio station. He was like refreshing the page, and he was like, "Oh fuck, it timed me out." He was mad. It took him a while to get his order in. Okay,
come between a grown man and his Mario pins,
right? Never come between. Well, never come between Ned and his Nintendo stuff. That is a lesson that you will learn.
So his new nickname is Nedtendo.
So he had a listener actually make him a sticker that actually said it's the old Nintendo logo and it says Nedtendo.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that seems like a must. That's awesome. I like it.
Yeah, guys, go check out Ned. He's good shit. Let's move on to the PS5 Showcase and some other stuff that is related to the PS5. So one bit of news before we do get into like all the games that were announced was that Sony announced the price of their consoles. So the PS5 digital edition will be retailing for $400 USD, and the full version with the disc drive will retail for $500 USD. It'll be available November 12th, and pre-orders are open now, which the pre-orders were foobarred because of scalpers. Which is a case or kind of a story that we've seen a couple times in the last 2 weeks, including NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Those NVIDIA cards getting scalped. Another bit of news that we saw. What's that?
Just to mention, NVIDIA kept saying All right, no, it was Newegg was like, no, it wasn't scalpers that took down our website and bought all our stores. It was the influx of people. But there is no way, no human possibility that 5 seconds with it going on sale that they went and sold out. No way.
That's it. Yeah.
No way. That's not
It takes you longer. It takes you long. Yeah, it takes you longer than that to hit checkout.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. That's bots.
Someone recorded it. The time it dropped, he had a stopwatch, clicked it, 5 seconds.
That's insane.
Yeah. Insanity.
And then, so one thing that we've been talking about for a while is the price of games, of individual games. Sony's own worldwide studios will begin retailing their games at $70 USD, up $20 from last gen. So that's unfortunate. I don't think most games are worth $70. I don't even think most games are worth their $60 or $50 price tag. So, some other things. So getting into the actual games itself and some of the services, PS Plus collection was announced. It's a subscription service that will let customers play a range of PS4 games on the PS5. Real quick, I saw somebody say or call in their article when describing the PS Plus collection, it will let players play a collection of classic PS4 games. The PS4 is not that old. It's literally last gen. There is no such thing as a classic PS4 game.
Exactly.
There's no such. You have to wait for like another gen after this before you can even consider anything on the PS4 a classic.
Actually, Infamous Second Son dropped at the beginning of the PlayStation 4, and it's a classic because it's 8 years old.
I'm sorry, but 8 years old doesn't make it a classic.
Yeah.
It's not a classic until it's at least a decade.
Yeah, I was about to say, you haven't even hit a decade yet. That's bull.
And even then, it's not even a classic. Then it's a throwback, because you go throwback, old school, then classic, in that order.
Yeah, I could see like PS3 games. Like Black Ops 2 would be a classic. Modern Warfare 2, the original. But not last gen shit.
Yeah. Not last gen shit.
I still want to pick up that remastered version of Modern Warfare 2. I haven't played it yet.
Green, how you feel?
It's just the campaign, though.
I know it's just a campaign. It's one of those nostalgia things, man. Because I remember when that thing dropped, my cousin worked at GameStop. I went in for the midnight showing. Dude, it was huge in my town. I don't know about you guys, but dude, they had the military come in with Humvee, had the big missile system on top of it. A bunch of military guys came out and hung out with us all. The line was all the way down the plaza. I mean, it was awesome. I got the night vision goggles set up with it. Dude, one of the coolest things that I remember about gaming. You know, it was just the whole thing. And then I stayed up until 6 o'clock in the morning playing the damn thing. And I didn't get home until 2.
I love that campaign. It was one of my favorite campaigns.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how I learned about betrayal. Before any woman could ever break my heart, that's how I learned betrayal.
Classy.
Damn. So some of the games that are coming to the PS5, God of War is coming back. Cool.
God of War 2, yeah.
God of War 2.
Ragnarok.
They
were kind of hitting towards the other game, or the PS4 game, so
yeah,
it was coming. I just didn't think it was going to be that soon.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 16. I think that's the number.
Interested in that one myself, because it's like a mature Final Fantasy. It's got like blood and stuff in it.
Yeah, it seemed like when I saw the trailer for it, I'm like, this looks like a Final Fantasy game. I'm like, that's kind of dark. Like, it's like Final Fantasy if it was all written by Sephiroth.
Right.
Was that the one where it was like, I'm your shield? Where he's like talking to the girl and he's like, I'm your shield.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe. The only way I thought that it was a Final Fantasy game was because it had like one of those dodo birds in it.
Oh, the Chocobos.
Yeah. So I'm like, wait,
I was like,
is that a Final Fantasy game?
Yeah, and then you see Shiva, the ice summon chick.
Mhm.
I'm
And
gonna
then,
be perfectly honest with you though. Like after I saw the bird, and I'm like, oh, it's Final Fantasy. I'm like, well, I guess I'll fast forward now.
I couldn't fast forward. I was actually watching this one live, but I love Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
I've liked them. I've liked them ever since I first got my hands on 7 back on the OG PlayStation, and I fell in love with them. And to see that they're kind of taking a more mature approach to it, I think is kind of interesting. But more than anything, I've always liked them because I like the summons. Those have always been my favorite part of the game.
Can I ask you a question real quick, Rev?
Mm.
And I want you to look in the camera and be 100% honest. Did you cry when Sephiroth did the thing?
In the when I watched it, when I played it in the beginning, yeah, because I was like freaking like 10. Yeah, I cried.
Final Fantasy players in just I think that's such an iconic moment anyways that most people know it. I don't even think it's a spoiler if I actually say what it is.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah. And then we got a look at the next Spider-Man standalone, Miles Morales.
It looked good.
I'm
looks
actually
good.
super hyped for that because I loved the Insomniac Spider-Man game. It was so fucking good, better than Batman. Like any of the Batman games, nah, doesn't compare to the Spider-Man game.
You're
It's
gonna
fucking good. I fucking said it. Y'all can at me any fucking time. I don't care.
Add him on Twitter.
Spider-Man is 100 times better than any Batman thing ever. Like media itself, Spider-Man always trumps Batman.
Okay,
Fight me.
Now we're diverging.
I don't give a fuck.
Like, because I'm sorry,
give a
emo
fuck.
Tobey Maguire does not beat Batman.
No, we're not including Spider-Man 3. That was a mess from the
You
get-go.
have to include it.
Okay,
you
then
have
we're
to
gonna
include
include Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. How about that?
I just
Cash
want to
me
erase those out
outside.
of my memory.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but if you don't think that Arnold as Mr. Freeze was the best casting choice of all time, you can get out now.
George Clooney bat nipples. Come on now.
No.
Like I would take emo Tobey Maguire over bat nipples all day. And that fucking Tommy Lee Jones fucking Two-Face thing.
I was just about to say
Come
Tommy
on.
Lee Jones is Two-Face.
If he would have made Joker, like if he did Joker, he would have been fine. But he was doing fucking Two-Face, thinking he was playing Joker. It was god awful. Fight me, I don't care.
the tangent that you guys just took.
Well,
Beautiful.
you also got to remember I have a geometry fetish, so I always get off on tangents.
So the next game that we saw was a Harry Potter game called Hogwarts Legacy, which has been controversial just for existing because of J.K. Rowling.
Yep. I watched people shame people who wanted to play that game. Like people are petty and to
People
each other.
can't decide if they love her or hate her, and I just want to. It's Harry Potter. Like, who doesn't like Harry Potter?
They're like the people's thing. You know, I understand the hatred for J.K. Rowling. I do. I get it. She sucks. She sucks bad. But this idea that it's like you're going to all these game devs and all these publishers at Warner Brothers Games are going to be going without because you don't want her to make 6 cents per game. You know, it's like, and the thing is, people are going to buy the game. Here's the people are going to. You could shame people all you want. They're just going to play the game and not tell you because people want to play the game.
Yeah,
I couldn't care less because I'm not really a Harry Potter guy. But this idea that people are just shaming people and just like putting them down and calling them names and stuff because they want to play a certain game, I think that's a little much.
Yeah. Can I just add a thing real quick? When Salman Rushdie, who has literally had a religious hit put out on him, says you guys are going too far, it might be time to listen.
Yeah. Salman Rushdie wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? Please tell me you got that reference.
I did.
Okay, good. Gene. It's a book. Oh, yeah, kid's book. Yeah, by Salman Rushdie. It's not by Salman Rushdie. Yes, it is. Go look it up. I just did. It's Salman Rushdie.
Resident Evil Village got its second trailer.
It looks good. I'm very intrigued by that game. I really am.
Yeah. That looks very interesting. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition got shown off.
Look decent.
Yep.
Fortnite got a trailer.
I didn't even mention Fortnite's like little fucking trailer because who the fuck cares?
Dude, that was the
Ray
best part about the best part about the whole thing was just seeing, like, if you go and watch like Twitch streamers who were like live watching with it. It was so funny seeing all of their reactions to Fortnite getting a trailer. They're always like, "Why the fuck was that there?"
Yeah. Oh boy, a new season of a game that's already been out that we know is going to get a new season. That's not fucking news.
Yeah.
Guys, ray tracing.
Oh,
I'll
ray
be 100% honest with
tracing.
you, I have no idea what that even is. I need glasses and I don't have them. I probably don't care about ray tracing.
Everything just looks prettier. The water looks more realistic. The
blurs
lighting
will
and the
look better.
shadows, the buildings when people build a 20-story building while fighting each other with shotguns.
Yeah.
It's going to look so much more vivid on the PS5 and Xbox XS, whatever.
Not the Xbox One X people who
Not
were on
the
Amazon
Xbox
today.
One.
So, next game was Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Got a teaser, which, oh boy, Matt Pat can start taking in that money because now he doesn't have to sell himself to fucking Epic anymore.
That game looks trippy looking in that trailer, dude.
Yeah.
Looked
Which-
freaky.
So thank you.
Yeah, which I think I explained it last week, and I'm just gonna say it again. Matt Pat, game theorists, go fuck yourselves. Right? You put out this whole thing about how Epic is genius, and then on a second channel, you guys put out a sponsored video by them, acting as if you guys weren't, taking money from them in that first video. That's inappropriate disclosure. It's Plugola, Payola, and other bullshit.
What he's saying is, he's saying in professional language, eat a dick.
Yeah, eat a dick. So next, well, actually, I think I said in unprofessional ways, go fuck yourself too.
That's about as professional as you can get.
Yeah. And then the last thing that we saw was Demon's Souls Remaster, and that got some gameplay revealed.
Yeah.
So-
I also noticed there was actually like a graphics issue in it. Like in that trailer, that like whenever he stabbed that first sword down, it was like sticking halfway out of the body and like glitched out. I was like, oh wow, this one's really hitting a home run out the gate.
Yeah, well, it is a remaster. I don't know if it's like they built it from the ground up or if they're just updating from the basic engine. So
That's what I think they're doing. Somebody called it a remake, but I think it's a remaster.
yeah, because to me, a remake means it's built from the ground up, brand new.
Yeah,
Like
you
it's like the same
remade
levels.
game.
Yeah, remade the game. This to me is like we're just going to take all these assets, clean them up, try to clean up some of the gameplay as best we can in this engine, optimize the engine a little bit better, and then put it back out.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's the PS5 showcase. Anything else on that we wanted to talk about, discuss?
No, sir.
No,
No.
it was a decent deal. I will say this: somebody brought this up, and I thought it was actually a good point. It needs to be probably brought up more now that everybody's doing all these digital showcases and things. With there not being like actual like live stuff, put freaking captions on your videos, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I think that's just like that should be the thing to do now. Just make sure there's captions so everybody can be involved.
Yeah. So I kind of want to get off into a tangent here because now we're kind of towards the end of the summer. Well, I mean, we are at the end of the summer. Obviously, no E3 happened, and that was always the big event, right? That's when they were going to, show off retail pricing, all these other big events, the games that were coming out. Now that we've kind of gotten through this time period, there was no E3 because of COVID, and everything was all kind of split up, and all these fucking events. How did you guys feel about that? I personally, I kind of disliked it.
Yeah,
I felt like
it didn't feel as special, right?
Yeah, I mean, I also felt like if I wanted to stay in the loop on anything, I had to spend way more time searching it out than not. Like, we couldn't just focus on E3 for 4 or 5 days and get all the information and then get some of the stuff trickled out at some other events. I don't know. I as much as I hate to say it, I kind of wish E3 or something like it comes back, because I'm tired of having to find all these events again.
Yeah, I didn't even know the PS5 Showcase
PlayStation.
was happening until I got on Twitter.
Yeah.
I was kind of annoyed with the PlayStation Showcase just because like there was like a pre-show and then the actual like 4 or 5 minute PlayStation thing and then a post show. And like it felt like I was combing through so many games that I really wasn't interested in just to get to the PlayStation information, just to get a flash of how much each one of them was going to cost. And then the guy talking for a second, and then right to post show for more of the games that they already talked about.
Yeah. Well, and then of course
God of War.
Yeah. Well, and then of course you have like all of like IGN and stuff like
Mhm.
that like they add on their own pre and post shows, which is just a drag to get through. Dink, what do you think of like the summer of gaming and all the stuff that was associated with it?
It's so disappointing that we didn't have E3 because I look forward to that every year. I like seeing, they bring to light a lot of games that I normally wouldn't hear of because I don't sit around and, try and search them out. That's the, one thing I get to look at. Like you, they just kind of consolidated in a few days and, you get to see the best of what everybody has to offer. That's what it's all about. And they bring it all out. And man, this year as a whole has just sucked for all of that. You don't get to have any of the interaction or anything,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Padre, anything that you wanted to mention there?
No, he hit the nail on the head. It just like it felt like everything was just scattered, so nothing felt special. Like it's one of those things you didn't realize you would miss until you didn't get it. That kind of like hype of like there being people there, the crowd going into an uproar when something's being announced, and it's just like it's something I didn't know I'd miss until I didn't have it.
For gamers, that's a great show for us. It's like going to the theater or something like that. I know that's putting it kind of in a weird way, but they put on a show for us. They showcase everything, and that is something we get to look forward to every year. And that was basically stolen from us.
Mm-hmm. And I think, as far as I know, this is the first confirmed 2021 convention that's already been canceled. I know it's not a huge one, but they had rescheduled DreamHack Atlanta, which is the High Res Expo, for January, and they went ahead and officially canceled it today. So we're starting to see 2021 conventions get canceled now. But there's a virtual TwitchCon coming in November. Mark my words.
Oh, yeah.
Calling it.
Yeah, this is still going on, guaranteed. They can't. That's too big a thing for them to miss out on 2 years.
Yeah, no, this November. This November, they're doing a virtual TwitchCon.
Gotcha.
Yeah, calling it.
Which we'll talk about something here in a second, but let's wrap up the show. Real Dink, go on ahead for the people who would have missed it at the beginning of the show. Tell them what you do and where you do it.
Well, I'm just a 33-year-old streamer. I get on when I can. I've got a family and stuff. So if you want to check me out, check it out. The _Real Dink. I'm on Twitch and Facebook. I'm going to start trying to utilize Facebook a little bit more. Play a lot of World of Warships. We've got a very active clan. Come check us out. IWP, the Iowa War Pigs. Obviously, I'm a Cincinnati guy, but they allowed me to join their exclusive, clan, whatever. And then I play a lot of Warzone. I like getting in with Mr. Green, and I'm going to try, once the weather starts getting a little worse, I'm going to try and get into some other games and stuff. So yeah, appreciate you guys having me. I had a great time hanging out tonight and stuff.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and hanging out. And
That's
yeah,
great.
my dad runs a tight ship over there, letting you Ohioans and Californians in that clan.
I'm telling you.
Was that a pun?
The worst part is that's not even like a pun, because it's like an actual thing. It is like, it's an actual use for that phrase. Like, son of a bitch. I want to get onto him for making a pun, but it's like an actual.
No.
Like he runs a tight ship on warships.
Perfectly executed. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate that.
The zinger.
Real zinger.
Bazinga.
Links will be in the description of this episode, so go check them out there. And thanks, Green, for sharing a link in the chat. Green, what's coming up on your channel?
Well, let's see. Tomorrow I'm gonna probably play some Warzone. I'm gonna take Thursday off. Friday I'm gonna be playing probably some more Warzone or Destiny. I haven't decided yet. And then Saturday night I'm gonna do like a nice little community Among Us stream. And then also in the morning on Saturday, I'm going to try to squeeze in a Facebook stream. I've been trying to do at least one Facebook stream a week, not a day, a week. So you can catch me at twitch.tv/MrGreenElite. My Facebook is just Mr. Greenelite. And then all the socials are Mr. Greenelite, except for Instagram, which is TTV Mr. Greenelite, because I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, and OnlyFans and the Pornhubs and the interwebs and the stuff's Mr. Greenelite. So I sell my body.
Excellent. Padre, what's coming up for you?
All right, so tomorrow, as far as I know, it hasn't been canceled or rearranged. I'm going to be actually doing a stream on the Anime for Humanity's Twitch channel, in regards to Suicide Prevention Month, which September is. Then Thursday on my channel, I'm going to be doing a full disclosure sponsored stream, playing Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. A sequel to a game that I have been very fond of for many, many years. So I'm actually really excited to be able to play a game I know I'm really hyped for as a sponsored stream. And then Saturday is going to be where I'm going to do a after certain obligations. I'm going to do a charity stream for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And it's going to be in full Zebo character. So it's going to be like a long stream in the Crazy Clown character. For charity, and then after that we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Let's see, coming up for me this week, we finished Fallout New Vegas Saturday night. I want to start up on Spec Ops The Line this week, and then we'll probably try to play some more Unfortunate Spacemen to kind of get a handle on that. We do have an event coming up this Saturday, a virtual meetup, because COVID sucks. It is called MidiCon. It is on Discord. If you guys are interested, there will be a link in the description of this episode. We have it's 100% free. It's a great time to meet some creators. It's a time to, collaborate and network with other creators. And it's open to all sorts of creators, bloggers, podcasters, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and all sorts of genres. We also have a seller's market. So if you are a graphic designer, artist, video editor, podcast editor, social media expert, and want to sell your service, you can also come on in and sell your service there. If you're looking to recruit for your podcast network, your esports team, or your stream team, come on by and advertise yourself there as well. And we also have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links tournament that will be 100% free and just for funsies. And we have keynote speeches, which I don't think I've announced who all is going to be involved. That will be me, Mr. GreenElite. There we go. Point to the right one. And RevSven. And Ned won't be able to do one. Ned on air will also be doing one, but he won't be able to do one live. He'll be doing a recorded one for all of you guys. So, yeah, join us in MidiCon. That starts on Saturday, September 26th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Link will be in the episode description. Did I miss anything, Green, on MidiCon?
No, it's going to be a hell of a good time. That's pretty much keynotes and meeting people and talking to people. It's going to be great. And I'm going to just absolutely slap people with my red eye deck.
You're going to get your ass handed to you by my fucking Graveyard Keeper's deck.
You know who's going to fucking creep up, though? Zombie. Zombie is going to fucking creep up.
Zombie is going to creep up.
Yeah, he's going to creep up.
All right. Other than that, guys, we appreciate all of you for watching and listening here on the show. You guys are absolutely amazing. If you guys missed any part of the show, make sure you guys catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. Make sure you reach out to us on Twitter at Daniecae, DANIECAE, at MrGreenElite, at RevSven TV, and catch Dink on his Facebook page. If you guys want to help support the show, the best way to do it is by telling your friends. Also, subscribing and liking the video, subscribing to the YouTube channel and liking the video, leaving a comment. And if you don't know what to comment, if you guys want to, you can answer this week's question of the week. What is your favorite gaming snack? Put that in the comments down below. And other than that, guys, I think we're good. We good?
Yeah. Yeah,
think
I'm
we're
thinking
good.
so.
Definitely.
All right. Have a great night, guys. Keep fighting the good fight. We will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Mwah.
Love you.
Bye bye.